Hi guys! So today I'm making another video about my top 10 Disney tips and what to do in the park. So these are tips that I use when I go to the park, and you know, I have this sheet of paper that I'm going to be looking at that I wrote down my top 10 tips. I generally plan my Disney vacations. My mom and I usually go. But I'm the one who does all the planning because it's so fun to plan, and that way, you know, she doesn't have to worry about anything and we get to make it such a magical experience. So first I'm going to start off talking about my ears. If you guys can see my ears, they are poison apple ears. I picked them up at the Character Warehouse, and I think they were $5.99, so they were amazing ears to pick up for that price. And if you haven't seen my ear collection video or my pin collection video, anything Evil Queen or anything Snow White reminds me of my mom, so I love to get anything that's involved with, you know, the Snow White franchise or movies. So I just wanted to throw that in there because these are one of my favorite pairs of ears. And I'm just gonna go in and start with number one. Is to go at a non-peak time of the year. So this wouldn't include the summer months or you know, spring break time, March, April. It's much more crowded at those times, and it can be more expensive. So if you can swing it and you can take your kids during you know, some of the fall months or right before sort of that Christmas break time, like the beginning, right after Thanksgiving, right before Christmas sort of gets going, in that time, late November, early December, or in September, it's generally pretty, you know, low key. October has been getting more and more crowded as the years go by. November's pretty good in general in the beginning, the first week of November, and then the second week of November you kind of want to watch out for because of the Jersey week, when, you know, the schools in New Jersey have off. So you want to try and go in sort of the second half of January after New Year's, or in February. Those are really good times to go, and they're generally less crowded. And also, as a bonus, not only are they less crowded, but they're usually less expensive, for instance, if you're staying on property. And so my favorite time of the year, if I were to recommend a time of year to go, is the fall. And I would say September is probably the month to go. During this time, they have Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which is my absolute favorite event of the entire year. You get to dress up no matter what your age is. If you're an adult, you get to dress up as your favorite Disney characters or any costume that you want to wear, just as long as there's no masks. And you get to meet so many characters, special characters like villains, and those are my favorite characters to meet. And there's special fireworks, there's a special Hocus Pocus show. It's just really a magical evening. It's a separate ticketed event, so you do have to pay extra, but if you're using it sort of in exchange for a normal park day, it's actually cheaper than a normal park day would be at Magic Kingdom. And you get to go in at, the party technically starts at 7 o'clock, but you can get in at 4 o'clock and it goes till midnight. Later I can make a different video about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party because I love it so much, and it's just sort of a whole separate video that could be done. So my number two is to go to the parks early in the morning. I know people generally on their vacations like to sleep in. They like to sort of relax, leisurely get up in the morning, eat their breakfast, take their time. But for Disney World, the morning is when it's least crowded, especially for those really busy rides like Flight of Passage in Pandora or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And when you're early, it doesn't mean that you're getting there when the park opens. It means that you're already there when the park, like 10 or 15 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes, you're there at the gates ready to get in. They will let you in. For instance, in Magic Kingdom, they'll let you sort of roam on Main Street or in the hub area. You could take pictures of the castle, which is my favorite thing to do. they just won't let you into the different lands. So for instance, if you're trying to get to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, they will not let you into Fantasyland. They will sort of guide you in between the castle and Tomorrowland, but you can line up there and then everyone sort of makes a run for it to go to Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. But that's the best way you can sort of maximize your time in the park. That way you won't have to wait, 2 hours to get on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Instead, you can wait 10 or 15 minutes. Same with Animal Kingdom and Pandora. You really want to get there early if you can't get a fast pass. If you can get there as early as you possibly can, you're going to be in much better shape. So my number 3 is to get an early morning breakfast reservation. This is my favorite thing to do at Magic Kingdom. There are 3 restaurants that you can do early morning breakfast reservations at Magic Kingdom. You could do Crystal Palace, you could do Cinderella's Royal Table, and Be Our Guest. And a caveat to this is you want to make sure that it's not an early morning magic morning for the resort guests. So if you are planning, the earliest reservation time is at 8:05. So if the park opens at 9 o'clock, you can get into the park I think as early as 7:45. You could take your pictures in front of Cinderella's castle with no one there. It gives me chills to think about, because it's one of the most beautiful experiences when you can go to Disney World. And my favorite place to go to is Crystal Palace. I love Winnie the Pooh. I've said that in all of my other videos. He is my favorite character, and I'm also a vegan, so it's hard for me to find food that I can eat, and they're very, very accommodating at Crystal Palace. It's a buffet, and I get Mickey waffles and fresh fruit, and I love going there to celebrate my birthday, and they give me a nice celebration cupcake. So I get to blow out a candle, and I get a birthday card from Winnie the Pooh and friends, and it's the best, because when you get an 8:05 reservation, you get into the park, you eat your breakfast, and you're out really before everyone else gets in. You could start your day when everyone else is getting into the park. It's a really good way to save time, and you're already eating breakfast, so it's sort of 2 birds with 1 stone. My number 4 tip is to go to the Character Warehouse for souvenirs. The Character Warehouse is in the Orlando outlets. There's also another one, so there are 2 Character Warehouses in Orlando. I generally go to one of them. I've never been to the other one, but the Vineland outlets I go to for the Character Warehouse. I've gotten amazing deals. That's where I've gotten these ears. You will pay 50% less to 80% less of what you would pay in the park, and there are some items that you can get that are in the store there that are still currently in the park. Sometimes it's things that are seasonal, like Halloween items, and that's honestly my favorite thing to get there, because I will not pay full price for seasonal items when I know that they'll go on sale as soon as the season's over. But I've gotten, if you've seen my Dooney and Bourke purse collection, I bought a Dooney and Bourke a crossbody bag, a Nightmare Before Christmas bag there for $30, and that's sort of a mind-blowing price. So I would totally recommend going there to spend money for your souvenirs. It's very, very expensive to buy souvenirs in Disney, and I know if you have children, it can be really hard to say no to them, especially when they're like, I want this, or, I want that. So it's a really good place for you guys to shop, or to buy things that are a little bit less expensive, and I know that Disney is very expensive. So my number 5 is to keep checking back for your fast passes. Even if you've booked your fast passes, go back and modify them. You may be able to get an earlier time. You may be able to get, a ride that you wanted instead. I can't even tell you how many times people have canceled their fast passes while I've been in the park, and I've gotten the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I've gotten like 3 fast passes for Flight of Passage in the same day, and then later in the day I got Navi River Journey. And I know that's sort of not typical for everyone, but if you keep checking back, you do have an opportunity to get the fast passes that you want, or an earlier time so that you're not waiting around. And once you go through those 3 fast passes, you can get another one. So it's just another good tip. Keep refreshing, keep modifying, keep checking back. Do it like every 5 minutes, or just keep going and back, refresh, refresh, refresh until you get the ones that you want. So number 6 is to take a break during the middle of the day. It can get so exhausting, especially if you're going in the very, very early morning and it's hot and it's sunny and you're walking. I know that, you know, my mom and I will walk like 12 or 15 miles when we're in Disney, and you just get tired. So the most crowded time of the day is in the middle of the day. So if you get up early in the morning, you can, you know, sort of take a break for lunch, go back to your hotel, relax for a couple of hours, and then you could go back and you can watch the fireworks. You know, there's nothing bad about that. You're totally taking advantage of your tickets. I know that sometimes when I wasn't an annual pass holder, I would feel like I would really need to take advantage of my ticket because it was so expensive and I felt like I had to be there all day. But it's almost not worth it because you're just so tired and then you can't enjoy it as much. So my number 7 tip is to bring your own food and your own water. Do not buy Disney's overpriced food. It's especially difficult for me to find food that I can eat because, as I mentioned, I'm a vegan, so it's really hard to find vegan food in the park. I do know that there are some options, and I can discuss them in another video if anyone's interested, the vegan food that I have found at Disney World. But my mom and I pack sandwiches in our purses, and we also bring a water bottle. There are water fountains all over Disney World. They also, if you're not interested in carrying around sort of a heavy water bottle, you can go up to any sort of quick service restaurant or stand and ask for just a cup of water and they could give it to you for free. You can even get ice in it. It's sort of like a trade-off. If you don't want to carry a water bottle, you just have to wait in line for a few minutes and get a cup of water. You are allowed to bring food and drinks and, you know, snacks into the park. So feel free to bring your own food. It will save you so much money and so much money for your family that you could put towards getting souvenirs at the character warehouse. So my number 8 tip is to pin trade. I know that pin trading can be a little bit expensive for people. If you buy some of the pin packs off of eBay, it's not as expensive. Generally in the park, it's about $10 for a pin. So I know that if I spend $10 or $12 on a pin, I'm gonna have a hard time parting with it because I want to keep the pin that I just bought. But if you find pins that you don't really want, or you get duplicates in a mystery pin pack, go ahead and trade them. You could trade up to 2 pins with a cast member and they can't say no to you. So trade your little pins away and have fun with it. That's one of my most favorite things to do in the parks, is to pin trade, because it lets me interact with the cast members and I get to bring home different souvenirs every trip, and it's something that I've already paid for in advance, sort of in a way that I paid for my pins, but I'm trading with other people and it's just so fun. Like, I'm so excited to look at people's lanyards and it's one of my favorite parts of the day. So my number 9 tip is to utilize the Fast Pass system. A lot of people don't know that it's free. Like, you can use it. Just download My Disney Experience app and pick 3 Fast Passes for one park. You can't choose more than one Fast Pass per park for each day. So for instance, I can only make 3 Fast Passes for Magic Kingdom. But then later in the day, if I decided I wanted to go to Epcot and I had already used my 3 Fast Passes at Magic Kingdom, I could book another Fast Pass for Epcot. The only caveat is you can only book 1 at a time. So try and book your Fast Passes for early in the morning. I know people say to book your Fast Passes for the afternoon, but there's really no point. And if you can go through your 3 Fast Passes, go get another one. You can book them on your phone through the app. And why not try and take advantage of all the fast passes that you can get? I think I've gotten like 10 in one day in Magic Kingdom, and I went on Peter Pan and Seven Dwarfs and Pirates and all these really long lines that I could have been waiting in. I didn't have to because I kept getting fast passes, and it's really important for people to utilize that system. So my final tip, my number 10, is to just enjoy it. Don't over plan it. If your plans change, then sort of just relax. Like, it's not a big deal. Just enjoy your trip. Don't overthink anything. Just sort of be present in the moment. I know that sometimes I even do this where if it doesn't go the way that I expected it or I planned, I get upset and I just sort of get disappointed. But in Disney, how can anyone be upset or disappointed? Just sort of go with the flow. Like, if you miss your fast pass, it's okay. I'm sure you'll get another one, or maybe the cast member will let you, go a little bit late. You can go up to 5 minutes early and up to, I think, 10 or 15 minutes late of your fast pass time. So just relax. Enjoy the day. Don't walk too fast. Don't just rush through it. Like, enjoy the magic. And just love being there with your family, because that's one of the most amazing feelings. So thank you so much everyone for watching. And to people who are subscribing to me, I just want to say thank you so much. Like, it means so much to me that people enjoy watching my videos and listening to me talk about Disney, because it's one of my favorite things to do. Clearly I get very excited talking about Disney, and my poor boyfriend has to listen to me talk about Disney and my parents, and it sort of gives them a little bit of a break even though they're watching my videos. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know that right now I only have 7 subscribers, but like, you guys, you mean so much to me. So I just want to say thank you, and just have a magical day, guys. Thank you so much, and see you real soon.